And of course, one of the most unfortunate parts, and I'll just speak for myself, Dr. Ridgley, is I came from the wrong side of the tracks. I was oldest of seven kids from a listed military family. We had nothing. My parents, my mother had a GED. My dad, finished high school with a general high school degree. And my parents emphasized education, education, education was the path forward. And I had set my sights on going to an Ivy League school. And when I got the full scholarship to Penn, by the way, I got a full scholarship to Duke and turned it down in favor of, oh my God, I'm getting into an Ivy. And I could also have gone to the honors program at the University of Virginia, didn't even apply for it because it was like, I'm shooting for the stars and this is, the
Yeah.
path forward. And I think part of the unfortunate thing that we're facing as, in my case, grandparents, is that we're seeing some of the best known universities in the world, Harvard, Yale, and Penn, Columbia, and on the public side, University of Michigan, University of Pennsylvania, University of Virginia, Berkeley out in California, that these schools are the ones that have been most impacted by this incredible destruction. And so I think people are going to have to, really evaluate whether you want to go to, like my sons went to for cost reasons, went to the community college for a couple of years and then went to different universities after that and worked out well. But generally speaking, I think parents also are going to have to do more before the kids get out of the household to make sure that they understand the value of capitalism and the
Yeah.
importance of our true diverse society, which is we give everybody a fair chance.
You're exactly right on that, David. It's shopping around, and I certainly appreciate the community college route because people save a lot of money by doing that, and
Right.
then move transfer to a four-year college and get that very same degree, far less in debt than they otherwise would have been. I want to point out something that people really probably haven't thought about, but the problem comes with DEI for the same reason that Luigi Mangione decided to assassinate this Brian Thompson back on December 4th. And that is Luigi Mangione acted as an ideologue. He did what his ideology, anti-capitalist ideology, told him to do. This guy, Brian Thompson, that he didn't know and had not wronged Mangione at all. Mangione wasn't even a client or wasn't even a customer of the United Health.
Right.
And the fact that he decided to shoot this guy in the back, kill him, because that's what his ideology told him to do. It has nothing to do with Mangione's personal experience, which, by the way, was very privileged, being the son of wealthy parents. And
Right.
so you look at people who will do what an ideology tells them to do. Of course, Mangione went to Penn Graduate School. He learned this ideology somewhere. And the fact is, you look at people burning Teslas, throwing firebombs, they're doing what their ideology tells them to do. You look at people who are protesting and assaulting and threatening on the college campuses, threatening Jewish students, assaulting them, setting up encampments, trespassing, vandalism. They're doing what their ideology tells them to do. The decolonization riff. And then you look at people who are DEI, they're doing what their ideology tells them to do, dividing society and people into these two categories, irrespective of anything else about them. And then it's very paranoid because if you and I walk down the street, we see someone coming towards us. It's a stranger. We don't know this person. We might see how they're dressed or make some sort of, preliminary judgment that way. But basically, we're going to say, okay, either I won't even interact with this person, or I'll find out more about them. When a DEI person trained in DEI sees someone walking down the street toward them, they see either a villain or they see a victim, and they make a whole host of presumptions about that before they even speak to that person. And this is the binary, the Manichaean evil and good binary that these DEI people believe in. It's what they train young people into, this alternative reality, and then they say, behave according to this alternative reality, just like Luigi Mangione. It's just a matter
Right.
of
And
degree.
I do want to insert here, since I'm the attorney on the call, is that these are allegations against Luigi Mangione, and he is accused. He has recently been brought before it. I understand Pam Bondi has announced that this is being identified as an interstate hate crime or something like that, and that they are going to seek the death penalty. Apparently, he has pled not guilty. However, in fairness, the evidence against him is rather overwhelming. There is videotape of the crime. There are eyewitnesses because he did this in front of a hotel, not a private in a hotel room or some narrow corridor. He did it in the entrance to a hotel, a busy hotel on a busy street. And in fact, he could have injured many other innocent other people. Background on Mangione, I just heard that he went to private school at K through 12, and he came from a privileged family. I believe he did both of his degrees at Penn in electrical engineering or something like that. And the person that he shot went to Iowa State University, not a person that we would associate with a privileged start. And it's interesting for me because I am, in fairness, an Ivy Leaguer. And if somebody said, well, Dave, you're a white guy and you're an Ivy Leaguer, you're part of the privileged class. But I told you a few minutes ago about how I got there. And I didn't get there from the privileged class, I guarantee you. And in fact, at my high school, which was full of military dependents, we were my sister who followed me the next year, we were the first two honors graduates from the military housing project where we lived. The first two honors graduates back to back. And the advisors didn't know what to do with us. It was like, well, those kids don't usually go to Ivy League schools and stuff like that. So just this assumption that just because of the color of skin determines who you were. My best friend at the University of Pennsylvania was a black artist who was 22 years my senior. Sadly passed away. Lifetime friends, stayed in touch with him and his wife, stayed in Philadelphia, the two of them. And he passed away about 5 years ago, and his wife, who of course I knew for the same length of time, passed away about 4 years ago. By the way, a mixed race couple. And back when that was really verboten. And that's the thing, is that people need to understand that you've got to make your own decisions in life, and you've got to relate to people as individuals, not as a class group. And it's interesting because of the way that they've twisted things that you would think would be the liberal philosophy would be giving everybody a fair shot.
Right. And this is why it's so perverse, this idea that, well, diversity, equity, inclusion means, oh, it's a come one, come all kind of thing, but we're going to judge you in advance based on immutable characteristics. I should say that equity and inclusion, I should say diversity, equity, and inclusion, the idea of inclusion and belonging, that's their latest phrase, inclusion and belonging. Colleges and universities exclude people all the time at admissions time. They tell people they don't belong all the time. And unless and until colleges go to an open admissions policy where everyone is, we want to include you. We want you to feel a sense of belonging here. Not say, okay, well, I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the enrollment management. I'm going to let you in, but I'm going to keep all of you people out. But once you get here, then we engage the inclusion and belonging aspects of our philosophy.
This is Dr. David D. Schein. Thanks for joining me for this special edition of Saving America. Remember, a new Saving America show is aired on the Brushwood Media Network every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Listen on any of the 16 network stations, Apple or Google mobile app, Apple CarPlay, TuneIn, Smart Speaker, and all smart TVs. Find more information at the brushwoodmedianetwork.com. Please be sure to join us each week. We welcome and love your feedback from our growing audience.